It's time for Pot of the Dead. Join us.
Hello and welcome back to Pot of the Dead, the internet horror film club that nobody asked for. I am your humble curator, Nicholas.
And I am your final girl, Natasha. On this week's episode, we will be discussing 2024's Strange Darling.
Do you have any idea the kind of risks a woman like me takes every time she agrees to have a little fun?
Never thought about it that way.
Of course you haven't. You're not a woman.
Love hurts.
You seem like a nice guy.
Love scars.
But the real issue is safety.
Love wounds.
That's life or death.
And more.
So I'm gonna have to ask you a question. Are you a serial killer?
What did you just say? Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Can you help me, please?
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. I'm in control.
No. Maybe I lied.
You know you asked for this, right?
Some fools and
How did I get so lucky tonight?
I know it isn't true. No, it isn't true.
Gotcha.
Strange Darling is a 2024 American thriller film written and directed by J.T. Mollner. It stars Willa Fitzgerald and Kyle Gallner. Set in a rural Oregon town, the film focuses on a man and woman who have a one-night stand that devolves into a cat and mouse game of murder. It's divided into 6 chapters in a non-linear order and is presented as a dramatization of the pinnacle of a serial killer's years-long murder spree.
So coming into this week's episode, what is your history with this film?
It's been a title that's been floating around in my brain. I've heard people talk about it, but consistently got it confused with another movie. So I never sought it out until this time.
This was my first time watching it. It had been on my shelf, as it were. Just like kind of sitting there like, I need to watch it. I need to watch it. I need to watch it. I'd heard nothing but good things about it, but also not heard anything about it, which was nice. All I knew about it was like, it's not told in order. And that was it. It's like, it's a movie that's told out of order. And I was like, okay, like I've seen a lot of films that do that. That's not a draw for me, but it's like, okay, I know that I'm not going to get ABC in a row. So it was a nice surprise.
I didn't do the spoiler territory thing after, so now I don't know where to put it in.
You can just do it right now.
Oh, okay. If you're new here, welcome. We are an internet horror film club. With that, we like to watch movies, discuss them. From here on out, this will be spoiler territory. So if you haven't watched the movie, pause here and go ahead, watch the movie, and then come back. And if you have watched the movie, enjoy the rest of the episode.
Yeah, so this came out 2024, even though a lot of the internet stuff says that 2023, but that's when it first debuted at like a film festival. I believe it was Fantastic Fest.
Yes, in Austin.
Yep, and then after that, it showed up in Australia, and then later on came out stateside, nationwide, whatever you want to say. I think it was like 1,100 plus screens that it came out on and everything.
Okay.
So like it got like a decent release. Words are hard. So This was released by Miramax, which has a long history of different, like that's where like I think you get like Clerks and all that stuff. Like they've been around for a long time.
It looked familiar, but I couldn't pinpoint anything.
Yeah. So a huge thing about this with Miramax is that Miramax attempted to take the film away from J.T. Mollner, the director of the film, twice during its production, and eventually hired a new editor to recut the film without his knowledge. This cut of the film was under 70 minutes long and edited in chronological order. Eventually, Mollner utilized a clause in his contract that stipulated that there must be a test screening of his director's cut. According to cinematographer Giovanni Ribisi, the filmmakers were resigned to the fact that their preferred version of the film was dead until midway through the test screening, an audience member shouted, "This bitch is crazy!" And the enthusiastic response of the rest of the crowd led Miramax to change course.
Wow.
So this movie almost got like fucked like hard.
Yeah.
Fucked hard style.
This movie would have been garbage if the executives did what they wanted to.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like people don't, they don't just let art be art. Let them do what they want to do.
And it's at the disservice of the viewer because like I feel like the people that were trying to make it like chronological didn't think that the viewer would understand it mixed out of order.
Something. I mean, it's God, how long, like, we've had so many films come out year after. This isn't a new thing, like fucking Pulp Fiction's out of order, like all sorts of stuff. Like, come on. Like, oh no, we're just going to, it must be the executives like watch the director's cut. I was like, I don't get it.
Exactly. It was people deciding about this movie that aren't really into movies.
Yeah. I don't even understand how that works, But so this coming out in 2024, right? To give you kind of a little look at what came out literally last year.
Remind me, please.
Top 10 movies: Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Kung Fu Panda 4, Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, Dune Part 2, Mufasa, The Lion King, Wicked, Despicable Me 4, Moana 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, and the number one film for 2024 was Inside Out 2.
IP, as far as the eye can see. Disney Pixar had a really good year that year.
Yeah, a lot of that. A lot
Dang.
of that. But horror, we're in this like age of like I don't want to say like good horror, but we're getting diverse horror.
Yeah,
we're getting a lot of different things made for a lot of different people, so for 2024 in horror, our top 10 was Imaginary, Night Swim, The Strangers Chapter 1, Speak No Evil, Nosferatu, Terrifier 3, Smile 2, Long Legs, Alien Romulus, and the number one film for 2024 in horror was A Quiet Place Day 1. So all over the place between like Terrifier 3 and Long Legs and Night Swim and your favorite, The Strangers Chapter 1.
That was a great... No, wait, not that one. No, I was thinking of A Quiet Place. Got those mixed up. God, strangers suck. We don't need to talk about that. But goddamn, I was so disappointed in everything about that movie.
I mean, because we covered the original Strangers way, way back in the vault.
Which means we also reviewed the new one.
Because it's the same film.
It's the same fucking movie.
Nice. So, with all that in head, right? Like, you got that information. What do you think its budget was?
I hate this part. $5.7 million.
You're in the ballpark because the budget was somewhere between $4 and $10 million.
Okay.
That's what it is. So I'm going to say 7. I'm going to say $7 million. Now,
that's a huge range. How couldn't they pin that down?
No fucking clue. People are just wondering where the money went. And then they're like, oh, no. You didn't give us $2 extra million. No. So the box office reflects, okay, so this came out on like, I think it was like 1,100 screens, right?
Mm-hmm.
In August. And then like in and then I think it was like in October, it went to video on demand. The
Okay.
box office is going to be reflecting what it did in theaters, not VOD and the like. So what do you think it brought in the box office?
Ugh. 7 million. We'll say it broke even to that mid-range.
It brought in 4.8 million.
Oh,
So,
wow.
So if we believe that the budget was 4 million, it made
That's
money.
true.
But the average would be 7, so it seems like maybe it lost money.
Mhm.
This is one of those films, though, that I like from critics and fans alike. I've never heard anybody say something bad about this movie. So I
Okay.
think it's one of those things where it just didn't have the budget to get its trailer in front of every movie every weekend and the
Yeah.
like, like it had the money to be made, just not to be promoted. I think that's
Okay.
a thing that comes with that some. So yeah, this film right off the rip says it was shot in 35 millimeter, which
Yeah.
is a film stock that is like predominantly used in the 70s and 80s.
Hmm.
And early in the film and stuff, you can actually see the grain, which is nice. It gives it this like real feel, like a real, it's so weird. It feels like a film. Like it really
Okay.
early on, I was just like, this has like the opening to this movie is very Tarantino-esque. It
Mhm.
just has this vibe of like a Kill Bill or something like that. It just, we got a chase scene. We got this guy chasing down this chick in the back of it or in his truck and jumping up and like doing coke and shooting rifles. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah.
This is
Right.
where we're at. This is how this movie is starting. Okay. So how did you feel when this started?
Yeah, thinking about the very beginning, I thought that a lot of the movie had a long legs feel, so I had to Google if that was also shot on 35 millimeter because I wouldn't have been able to put my finger on it otherwise.
Yeah.
But that's what I didn't notice the grain or anything, but I think even like subconsciously, I knew that something was different about it.
Yeah, it's not all
Um,
shot digital. It's not super clean.
Yeah, that must be.
And everything's like in camera too. Like there's not like a bunch of like special effects. It's like just
Oh,
light.
yeah,
It's
like we're watching this car chase.
Yep, this is
Yeah.
the reason it's blue in the car like at night is because we're washing it out with blue light. That's why it has that kind of feel.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I loved the start of it.
Yeah.
It was
like,
nuts. I like being just plopped into a story.
yes.
And this one does that exactly. And you just kept getting plopped into different timelines.
Yeah, it drops you into chapter 3. And I think at the very beginning of the film it tells you that it's 6 chapters.
Yes.
Like it's like a Strange Darling, a story in 6 chapters, right? But before we get really, 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 really into the weeds on this, we did find some reviews on this film. So,
Yes.
Natasha, would you like to give me that 10 out of 10 review that you found online?
Yes. This film is fantastic. A true throwback to 90s, early 2000s thrillers that have you guessing and thinking about every single frame you watch. The director shot it in 35 millimeter film, which I had the pleasure of seeing it projected in that format, which I gotta say makes this film the most beautiful looking film of 2024.
Oh, I could only imagine seeing this in theaters. It'd be awesome.
Quick question. So this is probably a stupid question. It doesn't then get digitized when it's shot on 35 millimeter. It stays that way in.
Some theaters have the capability of projecting 35, some
Okay.
don't. So this was shot on 35, and then the theater that they watched it at were showing a 35 millimeter cut of the film.
Oh, cool.
So you're seeing it like this is something that like Tarantino owns a movie theater out in California. The name is escaping me. But that's kind of like the thing is like it's not just going to the movies, it's seeing the movie as perfect as it can be and stuff like that. So like it's the best version or the director's appropriate version of it.
Gotcha.
So for this person, they literally got to see it the way it was meant to be seen. So that would
Cool.
be rad. I would love to go see like some 35 millimeter fucking films
Yeah.
because it's that thing that you can't put your finger on.
Mhm.
Like why these films look a certain way when you were a kid and now they
Yeah.
don't. It's because everything's shot digital anymore. But like in the 90s, it was still like 35 mil, like
Okay.
it's like Kodak something or other numbers.
Mm.
And that was like the standard. And then like in the early 2000s with like 28 Days Later and stuff like that,
Mhm.
that's where you start getting like those like weird like color grains and stuff like that we've talked about in the past. It's because
Yeah.
a lot of it's like shot digital and then they just like put color hues on it and stuff. And you can still do that with film, but it's just a
Mhm.
lot more labor intensive instead of just adding a filter.
Right.
And
They were
stuff.
like playing around with it, so it's everywhere.
Yes. So yeah, in this film and like a lot of like that feeling that you're just like it's so pretentious, but it's true. This feels like a film. Even if this movie
Yes.
sucked, it just feels like a film
It feel-
because it's film.
Not like it's a computer.
Yeah, kind of like,
Gotcha.
you know, like if you look at a picture that's a fucking Polaroid, it just has this feel to it.
Yeah.
That's how this is.
Got it. There's a density to the. Got it. Okay, back to the 10 out of 10. The acting is phenomenal from both Willa Fitzgerald and Kyle Gallner. A true cat and mouse game between the two. And who is the evil one? Maybe they both are in the end. Fitzgerald is going to be a true star after this film. She really gives one of the best performances of the year. She is outstanding. No spoilers here, but please go see this in theaters. One of the best films of 2024 by a mile, and it deserves to be seen in a theater.
Yeah, I really wish that I would have got to see this in theater.
Yeah.
Granted, the theater that I see, it's all digital projection. So
Mhm.
you kind of get the easiest way to watch it,
Yeah.
which is fine, you know. But this is something that I would like to see. Like every once in a while, there will be like places at smaller like boutique theaters that are like, we have this film on this film stock and we are showing it this weekend.
Oh,
you know?
that's cool.
So like
Yeah.
this or like The Void or like actually some of those like old like
You would love that.
oh god, yeah. Like to see like Nightmare on Elm Street on 35 millimeter in
Yeah.
a theater or something like that, or like Alien.
It
You know,
would
like-
just be like a time machine. It would take you back.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes
exactly.
sense.
I just do fucking like a line of Coke in the bathroom on top of a urinal and just fucking go.
Oh, to a time that no longer exists.
Yeah,
All right, Nick, if you must,
I guess.
I disagree with all of this, I'm sure. Give us that 1 out of 10.
All right. Senseless violence with no storyline or redemption. That's the heading of this. So
I
let
was so angry reading this before I sent it to you.
me. Let me
Get her
my
ready.
Karen voice. I hate that I even have to waste time writing this interview, but I'm so agitated from the time wasted in watching this garbage, and part of it was due to the misleading rating. That was one sentence.
Yeah, it was. And who's forcing this person to sit down and type this review?
Well, she's with someone because this is an interview.
That is my review of this.
Someone
review.
has a gun to her head. It
She
must be
has to
Willa
do it.
Fitzgerald, the lady. There is no way that this film should be anywhere near a 7 rating. At best, it should be a 4.
Lame.
So, okay, at best, so then you should give it a 4. This film did nothing but display violence all throughout with little to no redemption, and the characters are silly and ignorant, particularly the main male character. The only person I rooted for in this film was the male cop, but everyone else could have died for all I cared. I feel the film served no purpose. There was no message, nothing clever about it.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
It just jumped from scene to scene with senseless violence.
They did not pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, the only way that this makes sense, this kind of review makes sense, is, and it kind of, I guess, if they're like, it's just senseless violence. If the violence to them, which isn't that crazy, in my opinion,
Mhm.
but I'm also broken. If every scene of violence was so effective on them that they just couldn't focus. And then once they got focus, another scene of violence happened. It was just like, God, yeah.
Where they're just seeing the violence and nothing else. Because there's a lot of nothing else.
Yeah, they're just like trying to process it, but at that time they're missing the scenes in the truck where they're talking, or like all this other stuff. The most like heart attack inducing breakfast platter.
Yes, every Sunday apparently.
I literally have a note that says old people breakfast, Jesus Christ.
Drew said there's no way those people live to be that old eating like that all the time.
Only on Sundays. They only eat on Sundays.
Oh, that makes sense.
Those are their calories for the week.
Oh my god.
Because remember, she's a hippie, but he's not a hippie, he's a biker.
Right.
Notice the ponytail?
I did. Swung over his shoulder so
Hell
gracefully.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
But I think this movie is so spelled out, just done in a really cool way.
Yeah.
So for them to say there's no storyline
No,
and it's all senseless. It all made sense to me.
Yeah, like it was one of those things where it, opposed to last week, it wasn't like pretentious, but it used its trope of like, we're going to do a nonlinear story to great effect. Like legitimate great effect. And usually there's a lot of films that like it literally shows you chapter 3, chapter 5. Like this is the order. 3, 5, 1, 4, 2, 6. Extra chapter epilogue. But yeah, like I thought it did a great job because I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're gonna do right off the rep. Okay.
Right.
Like rolling my eyes about it. And then I came out, I thought it was great. So before we really get into it, I think you're giving this film a 10.
Oh.
I think you fucking love this movie.
I'm giving it an 8.5.
Oh, okay, right on.
I think I'm giving it a 9.
A 9.
There we go. We're going, there's one big glaring thing. Yep, I'm giving it a 9. Because you're right. I really love this movie. I love a lot of this movie.
Yeah.
I think you are giving this I'm gonna go with an 8. I think you're giving it an 8.
I am giving it an 8, right on the head. So that gives us an 8.5 for the total, giving us an 85%, meaning it's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, look at that.
See, math's not that hard.
You did
Tasha.
that before I could even bring up my calculator. I was so confused as to what was happening at first.
And it just blows my mind. You work in the educational field.
I have a computer that does my math for me.
See, that's the problem with these kids nowadays. I don't know why I sounded like Bill Cosby. I apologize to everybody. I'd like to apologize to Jesus.
You can reel into that with your finger.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
Anyway.
All right, you ready? we got that out of the way. We got our scores. I guess the podcast is over.
You have so much more to say.
All right, so yeah, opening,
Let's see.
chapter 3. It's where we jump in, and it's the fucking truck chasing the like 78 Pinto.
Yeah, I was really thrown off as to what time frame this movie was at first too, and I bet that had something to do with the film. It had like a 70s vibe.
Oh yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like that Tarantino feel. Like Tarantino is like a slut for like the 70s and shit like that and 60s. So yeah, it just has this like 70s Pinto, film grain. Like the music just kind of has this like dreamy feel to it. It kind of just all that. Like it just gives you this feel. And then there's just a Dodge Ram pickup truck, just
right.
Like, but beautiful mustache on Kyle Gallner, quote unquote, the demon, which he was in Smile.
Yep. Also as a cop.
And he is so much better in this film. He is fucking great in this movie. Both him and Willa Fitzgerald knock it out of the fucking park.
Yeah. That is definitely one of your top 2 pros of this movie.
Yeah, let's get into
acting.
this. Yeah, what's our pros list?
You said the acting, particularly of those 2. Along with that, the film structure.
I thought they did a great job with it.
Yeah. And you mean that by being like disjointed, right?
Disjointed.
Like how it's edited?
And even breaking it, like telling us what the chapters are and giving us our subtitles of the chapters. like sometimes that can just be too much in a way where it's just like, "Oh, okay, I get it." You know, there are only a couple films that come to mind that do like those like chapter headings well, and I think it's this and Mandy. Mandy like breaks into those things where it kind of gives you a new book cover kind of vibe and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Those are the two films that I think did that well. A lot of other ones, I don't know, it just rubs me wrong or something.
Oh man. What do you mean by the plot? So that's just the movie as a whole?
Yeah, the plot of the movie, there's a lot of movies that are just like guy kills woman or
gotcha.
girl kills guy, right? And that's it. So like this movie does a great job just in plot. Like even if you go in chronological order,
Right.
the idea of it is still very engaging. Like I just like the character development and everything in it. But since it's meant to be out of chronological order,
Yeah.
there's so many times like 3, 5, and 1. That's your first go at it, and you're like, okay, so the demon is our
Right.
bad guy, and then chapter 4 hits, and you're like, whoa, twist, what the fuck is going on? So
Yeah.
now we think the lady's the killer, and then right after that's chapter 2, and I've got just okay, I got it. I think I get what's going on. Like it just keeps twisting,
Yeah.
but not like M. Night Shyamalan, like, ooh, you didn't see that coming. It's just
Right.
like, oh, it makes me put everything else I saw into a different perspective. It just keeps changing that perspective. Like at the beginning of the movie, you're just seeing this coked up dude in a truck.
Yep.
Well, that coke makes sense because he's trying to stave off the ketamine that he's been drugged up with.
Right. When those little things happened, I was like, oh, I get it now. I get it now. Like it was so exciting to watch over like as it was happening.
Yes.
And I read an interview from Mollner, and he said like throughout they were very intentional to not have they were never lying to the audience.
No.
They never made somebody like a red herring or anything like that. It's purely based on just our preconceived notions. You see that woman running out of the woods. You think she's the final girl, and we're watching her demise. Now it's going to circle back to how she got there.
Well, and the thing is, too, this movie knows what it's doing, and it knows who's going to watch it, and it goes, you're not smarter than me, and it excels at it. Like that, a lot of films don't do that. Like they think they're smart. Go back to last week's episode. But this one fucking does it. Like it's super smart. It's giving you everything. You could cut this
Right.
in order, and it's not like that doesn't make sense, you know, because it was shot out of order. So it's blah blah blah. But no, this all makes sense. It's just
Right.
giving you context. That's the thing. It's not that it's withholding information as much as it's giving you context for the scenes that you've already seen.
Exactly.
It's like, gotcha. Like the fact that like it shows like earlier on, it's like he's got that rifle under his thing. And early in the show, it's like he's shooting the rifle and everything. It's like,
Right.
oh, he's a fucking cop. Like that makes sense. The mustache should have told me.
Didn't get that until they told us.
Yeah. Like I felt stupid in this movie, but not like that. It was like, I don't understand this movie, but it's just like, oh, it's this. I was just like,
It was so clever.
Yes, very, very
It was
smart.
like, you got me.
Yeah. The fact that like this movie is a smart movie, but not a pretentious movie. Like it's just smartly written, smartly done.
It's clever.
Smartly.
Oh my goodness. And you liked the cinematography.
Oh yeah. It was beautiful. There's so many fucking shots. Like it, goddamn, I am a slut for like that giallo like wash of light.
Oh, here we go.
Yep. The fucking
Love
the
the
hotel
lights.
room with just the red light, the
Yeah.
fucking truck with the washes of blue light. It's just so dreamlike or nightmare like at times.
Yeah.
And god damn, just fucking amazing. And the cinematographer, this is his first time. It's Giovanni Ribisi, which you would know as like the younger brother from Gone in 60 Seconds that Nicolas Cage is trying to save and everything. So this was his cinematography debut. So you know him mostly for being an actor, but then he's just like, hold on, I'm going to do this. I think it's cool. I'm just going to do it. And it's fucking so good. Like, this is a movie, like, the reason I think or thought that you would give this movie a 10 is because so much of the violence is hidden from you and then revealed to you. You're not seeing. So like when she's carving into his chest, you don't know what's going on until
Right.
it's revealed and shit like that. And but it's still so well shot and acted that they could have shown it. You're going to get the same reaction out of me, where it's just like, good God.
I loved, speaking of when she's digging into his skin, I loved how they cut to the minutes.
Yeah.
There was like this little pop of humor, I thought, anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
where
there's a
just
dark
time
humor in
ticking
this
away.
film.
I think the lady is rather comical
Yes.
throughout quite a bit. She's got a lot of little personality traits that I thought were great.
Yeah.
Yeah, my pros line up a lot with yours. I do have one I would like to add, and a pro to this movie is that those mountain people's house. That house. That house is a big pro for me. I loved it. I just kept watching as she's running through, and it's like, there's a little cubby. Oh, that staircase.
And going back to the cinematography with the house, everything just kind of flows really well. Like just the way the camera sits like in a doorway and you're seeing this other room and then our people are walking upstairs and everything just feels perfect. Like it's weird. It works so well.
I think the color grading has a lot to do with that in this movie, because it's very, very primary color, very intentional on like the lack of really anything else.
Well, and it starts off in black and white and it ends in black and white. Like it just has this, okay. Here we go. Nick's going to get his pretentious jacket on.
You just keep it on.
I just keep using that word so much tonight. It's probably because I'm drinking. But
so he's trying not to be, although he gets very when he does.
Very verbose. It just does what a good film does.
Oh Jesus! Here we go.
No. But what I'm saying is like it's not doing anything because it's cool. It's doing everything in service of the film. So like when you're getting the black and white, like at the beginning and the end, it's giving you like at the beginning, it's giving you this like noir thing because you're told.
Yeah, it did.
This is based on like a true story, which it's not.
Right.
But like it's giving you this box of like, okay, so like you get this crime thriller feel at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then as she's dying, I was like, oh, that's cool that like they're making her look a little paler. And then you're just watching the entire film do it. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like I really like there's so many films that are like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And it's like, yeah, that looks neat, but it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't add to the mood. It's just spectacle for spectacle's sake.
Right.
All of these things that it does in this film, cool shots, all this work for what's happening.
Right. It's really buttoned up. It's really polished and everything makes sense. It's hard to describe, but I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just all together. It's really cohesive. But other than that, my pros are the same.
Yeah.
The same as yours.
The cons are nothing about how the film shot or anything. For me, there's just like two cons.
And we have, the female cop.
The female cop, my God.
Yeah.
That felt very forced.
I agree. It seemed like they were just trying to shove gender stereotypes in your face if you hadn't already gotten it throughout. That was like we've gotten this far and we're handing you the big reason of this story right there. Yeah, because I agree. I didn't like her.
It did other things with the same intention.
Right.
More subtly and to a better effect. Like when they're in the truck and she's talking about like, for me, like people don't think that women just want to have, casual sex, but like there's more at stake,
right.
like it's life and death, like all this kind of stuff. So,
and even before that, where he's strangling her, you go right to he's the serial killer. He's the bad guy.
100%.
Right there.
Yeah. Like but to go to the female cop, just I think
to not even want to put handcuffs on her
just so
in
bad.
The car. Like,
so
come
bad.
on now.
so bad. Like the female cop is one whole point that it loses.
Yep.
Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other con for this film is it just felt a little too long. Mm-hmm. So like I think a lot of that has to do with the end of chapter 6 and the epilogue, it just kind of was like, okay, like I would have been okay if the film ended with her like killing them in the like killing the demon in the house,
Yeah.
and then like you hear the cop car pull up and then it just credits.
Yeah.
And it just kind of left to like whatever, like we don't know what happens or whatever, but like all that extra stuff, the legitimate epilogue
Mm-hmm.
felt like I was just like, okay, and then she still ultimately dies, and I'm just like, okay. But it's one of those things where it's like, if it would have ended, like I said,
Yeah.
it no longer is too long, and it no longer has the female cop, and it would be a 10 out of 10.
There you
Like
go.
seriously, like, because I was just I keep bringing back, yes, like last week, right? But how you spoke about being captivated, I
Yeah.
was fucking in it from the
Mhm.
word go and
Oh,
never
yeah.
gave up.
Same here. And I'm so thankful that I didn't see the trailer for this movie, because I know there's obviously, I just watched it, so it's pretty reminiscent, but I feel like the trailer leads you to make it like, that trailer tells you you're going to be bouncing back and forth. That trailer tells you that it's going to be topsy-turvy, I feel, because it paints her as just as menacing as him. Going in, I initially thought he was the bad guy.
Oh yeah,
Like you're
that's
supposed to.
right
With
off.
no even thought of her being
Yeah, I thought
being
that
the
this
one.
was just going to be a straight up cat and mouse movie,
right.
and it isn't. I don't know what it is. it's a cat and cat. I don't know. Fucking,
It's twisty.
it's yeah, but like it's one of those things where like I have a hard time just saying like it's twisty, just because so many people have the preconceived notion it's like, oh, it's like The Sixth Sense, because so many
Oh.
people think of that when it comes to twisty.
Yeah.
So it's like, no.
That's true. Good
This
point.
is a movie that's just going to keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
It's not a movie that you can walk out of the room on.
Right.
Like not and not in a way that's like you're going to miss a little bit of dialogue. No, you're literally going to miss like, where am I in the timeline?
Right. It's going to screw up your perspective.
Yes, this is
Yeah.
I can't think of another movie off the top of my head that it's so much about perspective.
Yeah, me neither. No. That's great. It's so good. Yeah. But yeah, that's why I gave it a 9, was primarily because of the officers. Yeah, just
Yeah.
that whole part. There's so many questions of like, there is no way in hell. No way.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So, like, we already got the car going, right? Did all that, the running down the street and all this. The car flips, another Tarantino car flip. Like the
Yeah.
chapter 3 is Tarantino. I'm going to get that out of the way.
Okay.
Chapter 3 is Tarantino. Then I believe that's when we're in chapter. I know it's chapter 5 is next, and I believe chapter 5 is when we're in the bedroom
Okay.
of the hotel, and it's the sex scene.
The first time. Yeah.
But we don't have context.
Right.
Or no. Chapter 5 is her getting to the house.
Oh, help me, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Man,
she gets,
this is really hard to
so she gets to the house. She finds the
go
hippies.
through.
My favorite thing about the hippies is that they're squatchers.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out like, so
Oh,
you get
that's
chased-
right.
you get chased by a pickup truck.
Squatch
Oh.
wouldn't drive a truck.
Squatch wouldn't drive a truck. Fucking, I want
Oh,
that on
yes,
a
you're
shirt.
right.
I want that dude in his ponytail just saying, oh, "You'd be in a whole world I heard of Squatch driving a truck." Like it's such like a Wesley thing where like he would bring something to the table. You're like, I don't know, man, and then like, under his breath, well, you'd be in a lot of trouble if Squatch was driving a truck.
Like so serious. It's so comical, but they're just
You don't
this
know
is-
what you're
this
fucking
is
talking
fact.
about.
Yeah.
Goddamn kids don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, they get there, and that's where you get the breakfast.
All of their calories for the
Oh
week.
my god, it looked so good until they started just pouring an entire can of blueberries on it. I was
So
like,
it
too
looked good
sweet.
when they cut like what was it, 5 eggs with a giant stick of butter.
Sure,
Like
what the fuck, babe? You
that's
get
so
it.
gross. I was out of it.
I was
That's
literally like initially just the stick of butter going in. I was just like, whoa, what do we get into? 6 eggs in butter. All right.
no. While I was watching the movie, I made a mental note to like dock it 0.5 point for that breakfast alone, but I forgot.
I gave it a point. Like its cholesterol is as high as its points.
Oh my god. With a cherry or with a strawberry on top.
Oh, I know, right? You got to make it healthy.
Gotta have something fresh.
But seriously, like eggs with the sausage
It was everything.
and then pads of butter on top of that.
I missed that part.
Oh yeah, pads of butter on top of it.
Pancakes.
Pancakes, fucking berry, like canned, like pie filling.
Jelly.
It looks
Corn
like-
syrup.
Yep, and then fucking maple syrup,
Oh man.
then fucking Cool Whip or fucking
Ready Whip.
and then they're playing a game of building.
Yeah, I don't
their-
understand that. They're building a puzzle
Yeah,
somehow, keeping score.
yeah, I don't get it. They're really into him, and I can't remember his name, but I can see his face.
Scott Baio.
Scott Baio. We're really into Scott Baio. Every time we just buy them out. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? I want a movie of these characters. I want their origin story of squatching.
Yes. And
And the-
hippieing.
Hippie bike squatchers. Scott Baio has to make a fucking like bit in there. I'm ready for that film. You know,
Guest appearance. Scott
Pot of the
Baio.
Dead is going to produce
Oh God.
Scott Baio in Hippie Bike Squatchers. Well, and like when she shows up at the house, I was really confused because they just have like the loudspeakers on, and that must like all around the house. Is that
The
Did you-
loudspeakers.
yeah? They've got like they look like PA horns.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
You
do remember
remember
them. Yeah.
I wonder if those are all there so they can just blast out noise to keep Squatch away.
Oh.
That's gotta be like they never
They're also
reference
so-
it. It's
yeah,
just
you're
playing
right.
a radio station, like someone talking.
It's their force field. They mentioned that they were survivalists
Mhm.
too. So like
Yeah, they're
preppers? Okay, so maybe it has something to do with the end of times also.
I don't know. It was the end of times for them for sure. Well, and so going back to fucking like, not perception. What's the word that we've been using?
Perspective.
Perspective. When you see the biker guy dead, you think that the demon kills him, but then
Yeah,
you later find out
course.
that she fucking kills him with a phone,
Yeah.
and you don't know why she doesn't want cops.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because later you find out he's a cop, and it's just layers on layers. It's
so
pancakes
good.
on top of eggs on top of. It's just all this.
That breakfast is a metaphor for the movie.
We fucking figured it out, man.
Oh my God.
I literally think that that's the purpose of it. There's no other reason for that breakfast to
That's
exist in this
true.
movie.
There has to be a reason.
So like this reminds me of this breakfast that I will make for the kids for their birthdays,
Okay.
and it's called an ultra deluxe.
Okay.
And it's literally like I make French
That.
toast with ice cream on top of it, and then Cool Whip and sprinkles and then syrup over top of that.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So that's the ultra deluxe. So they don't get it every year because I just go like, "Do you want an ultra deluxe?" And they'll be like, "Not feeling it." I'm like, "All right, cool."
Really?
Yeah, because it's a lot.
I would never turn that down.
Yep. So there you go.
Ever.
Put that in your your back pocket. The
No,
ultra
that's what-
deluxe.
I
It's-
want you to make that for me for my
it's-
birthday.
It's 4 slices of French toast
Holy sh-
with a massive scoop of whatever ice cream you think matches with that.
All right.
Cool Whip, sprinkles, syrup.
Man. August 17th. I'll be waiting for it.
I'll mail it to you.
The ice cream's just soaked through and evaporated.
and I'll just write on it like slowest shipping possible.
I get it in September.
You get it August 17th next year.
Oh God.
It's
Oh.
grown a leg.
I will drive to your house. You make it for me.
So we get our
Where were we?
our sex scene, right? Our consensual non-consent, right?
Yeah.
This is probably the first time I've seen this in a film. Like, I'm very familiar with what consensual non-consent is, but I think they did a really good job of like, I want you to fucking just do whatever, and I'm gonna say Mr. Snuffleupagus, and that's our no. That's
But
our stop.
going into that the first time though, we didn't know.
We don't know that.
It was
no.
that. So
No.
that was that, like the start of that was cool because you're like ratcheting up the tension, and I started to get extremely uncomfortable through all of that. But then you
Absolutely.
get this nice drop when she's like, okay, you just gotta stop or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe
she
it's
just
you.
Yeah, she just broke character, and then it was an instant relief. And like, okay, let's see where this goes.
Well, and at that point, I'm like, this is what's making him the killer. But then in the back of my head, I'm going, but wait, he goes on a killing spree. So like, that's where like this whole bouncing back of like, the math isn't mathing.
See, that didn't necessarily faze me too much because I didn't realize that the hotel woman was the same woman that was running. Because I think when she's in the car, she has brown hair.
She's got bleach blonde hair, but she's wearing a red wig.
Right. But when she's in the truck, when they cut back to them talking about like planning their scene,
Yeah.
I was thinking she had brown hair at that point.
That's because it's dark and washed with blue.
Okay. So to me, the hotel girl was different than the woman we met at the beginning. So
Okay.
I thought this was a kill before he met
Okay.
the lady blonde hair.
I'd never had that problem with it, but I can
Okay.
see how that happens.
Yeah. So it was in my head, the blonde was running out, getting chased, all of that. But then we went like way back from like last kill leading into where we are now, because it said that it was about his last kill. So at some point you're thinking that what we're watching, like that the other woman evades him and like he can't kill her. So then he just like gets figured out. So we're watching the strangulation and then what happens after she's strangled.
Yeah.
I had a whole different movie figured out in my head.
Yeah, this is like I was saying, like, I'm smart in this film. I think I know where it's going. And you're just like, fuck.
I didn't want to know where it was going.
No.
I love being blissfully ignorant.
Once the twist hits in the chapter 4, which is in its proper spot, it is the 4th chapter that we see.
Okay.
Because it goes 3, 5, 1, 4.
1. I forgot one.
So that's where you go, oh, wait, she's fucked up. But at the same time, I'm still not convinced. Like, there's a point where I'm like, are they both serial killers? But like, yeah.
I think it was at that same point too. I was expecting it to be still kind of balls in her court, but seeing how hard she wanted to go in bed, I was thinking that this was still a game at that point. I think that was chapter 4 where she is like being chased out of the hotel room and she's like, he's got a gun.
I got a gun too, baby. Like the next door neighbor.
Save me.
Well, yeah,
I loved at that point how twisted she got with how she could just switch her personality to like really play into I'm the victim.
Yeah.
I loved that throughout this whole movie, using that stereotype of like damsel in distress.
Oh, yeah.
But she's using it for her own benefit.
I was blown away by the damsel in distressness when she kills the demon and she's like laying on the floor and she pulls her pants down to suggest she's been raped.
Yeah.
I was just like, holy shit. Like,
and how her like cries of pain when she's like reaching out are anger and like visceral, but then they like get demure and more of like a whine as they walk in. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah. Like
she's so bad, but it was so good.
Willa Fitzpatrick acts her ass off in this. So good. Like, I cannot say enough good things about her and Kyle Gallner. So fucking good. Like, I can't think of a duo in a film that I was just rooting for at different points.
Yeah.
And everything. Like
Like how the
fucking-
power would bounce back and forth.
Yes.
And yeah, good guy, bad guy the whole time. It was like a game
Well,
of tennis.
And at one point, are they both bad guys? Are
Yeah.
they like what? Because at one point in the film, I expected chapter 6 to end with like one of them saying like Mr. Snuffleupagus again. And like
Right.
that would like they're fucking everything up in their path, but it was still just a sexual thing. I was kind of,
Right.
but
That's what I thought for a split second. Yeah.
it didn't do that, and I'm fine. But like that's how on my heels this movie had me. I was like, is it going this fucking way? Like,
But think about it. If it was at that hotel scene or whatever, if at that point you figured it out, that would suck at the
Yeah.
end.
yeah,
So it's like even tailored to, like, once again, your perspective. It's tailoring your perspective. It's completely leading your eye. So you have those switches throughout.
what's interesting is like one of the tag things on the trailer for this is like from the producers of Late Night with the Devil and Barbarian. And Barbarian
Okay.
has a very interesting thing with this where when Zach Krager, the writer and director of Barbarian, was writing it, he's just writing. He's like, what if I do this? I don't know what to do from this point. This
Okay.
film kind of has that feel where they were challenging themselves as a writer, just being like, okay, like they're in this thing and he's choking her. Now what? Now what do we do?
Okay.
What don't I expect? I've seen so many films. What is different? What
Yeah,
would
that's
make
cool.
me go, that's interesting. So the fact that like there's a producer that's tied to both of those movies and they both have that feel of like, I think I know what's happening.
Yeah.
Nope.
And it both plays on like the gender stereotypes too. Because I remember initially thinking in Barbarian, you can watch that up or listen to that episode. I remember the guy opening the door and instantly thinking that he was a creep.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just instant,
Every-
like what you think a movie's gonna do.
Everyone
It's so
thought
cool.
Bill Skarsgård was going to be bad.
Mhm.
Everybody thinks that Kyle Gallner with the mustache is going to be bad. Like,
Right.
He just has this feel because he's like the question of like, I just got to ask you, are you a serial killer? He's like, what'd you ask me? It's like, oh no, we're about to get Ted Bundy up in this bitch.
Yeah,
like because he
I'm
has
not
that
a serial
feel
killer.
where he's like, yeah, okay, but there's like this darkness to him all the
Right.
time.
And you just
So-
see him like clip the gun to him, like your eye just goes to that.
Yep.
He's the guy in the mustache, and he's gonna go murder this woman in her hotel. That would have been a really boring movie.
Exactly. It would. I've seen that movie. I've seen that movie so many
So
times.
many times.
But I love the scene where she literally is putting him in her trap. So she's like, it's my birthday and my friend bought me this
Yeah.
Coke.
I saw that a
No.
mile away.
What, that she
So
was
dumb.
gonna fucking mix it with ketamine?
Not necessarily
Or
that
not
she
mix
was
it,
gonna
but that she was gonna give him a different drug and not Coke?
not necessarily that, but like, I don't know, being a woman, I knew she was playing him to get him to take whatever she had in that bag. I didn't
Yeah.
even think the bag was Coke.
Well, okay. Like I knew something
Just like,
was
here's
up.
a poison.
Yeah,
And
I knew
then,
something was
no.
up, but I did not expect it to, because you know that he's going to be chasing her down. Or did you still think these were all different people that he was hunting
Like
down?
I said, two different people. He's not hunting down the woman in the hotel.
Okay, so the red-haired chick,
Like
the
I
blonde
said,
chick,
this
and
is-
the brown-haired chick. You thought there was 3 ladies.
No, I thought the brown-haired chick and the
blonde.
redhead were the same person.
Oh,
I knew
okay.
she had Nick, I knew she had a wig on. It's
I don't
bright
know.
pink.
I don't know.
And when they were talking about like their scene, she had a bag. I mean, like putting on a wig is
I don't
standard
know.
fare, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't think that was weird. Anyway, so two different people. He wasn't going on a killing spree with the blonde.
Okay.
So yeah, at that point when she's like, it's my birthday, like kind of like, come on, you want to get laid, right?
Oh yeah.
And
this made
especially
me
when she
think
was
of-
like, this makes me horny. And then he's like, all right, I'll do it. Like
Yeah.
I knew what she was doing.
the soundtrack to this should have been I think it's Kevin Gates is the artist. He's got a song called Thinking with My Dick. And this movie is that. I'm
Yes.
just thinking with my dick. That shit's dumb. That is this movie.
Yes.
And if we
And
had
that's
the
just
rights, this is where I would cut it in.
Oh my God. And that's just like her feigning being the victim. She was doing the same thing there. Like, it's a one night stand. I've already lured you in. She's just using the power of being a woman to her advantage.
She's using her pussy magic.
Just like you said, in her web, she's like a Black Widow in that.
Oh yeah.
That's real cool that you said that.
Well, and I love the fact that, like, you know, he does it, she does it, and then like that's when she's like, got you. And her her demeanor just changes. It's like, I think it just makes you seem like you're an asshole now. I thought it made you horny. And he's like, I'm just gonna leave. She's like, I'd like to see you do it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And the fact that he just like is paralyzed and she's like, this is coke, that is ketamine. I was like, oh my fucking God. Like, every way that that's done is so cold and like just, oh, it's so good. The electric lady.
Yeah, it cuts to him like crawling out of the hotel room, and she just comes out, and oh, I was so excited when she just drags him back into that room. Yes, do this.
Yeah, it kind of, I was wondering around that point, I was like, is this like a Dexter thing? Is this a serial killer that kills serial killers? Like, is that what we're at that scene?
Yeah.
You know? Oh, man. So
I watched a TikTok video earlier today from Dexter, and it was just the show without the inner monologue.
Oh.
It's so bad. He looks so just dumb.
Well, have you ever watched any of those clips of Friends without the canned studio laughter?
No.
It makes Ross seem like he's a serial killer. Look that shit up online. It's great. You just like, because those kind of shows, like, they put the laughter in to like go like, it's funny, but if you remove that, you have to use your own, and it's just like, that's not funny. But everyone's just standing there for a long time staring at each other for the laughter. It's horrible. But so we figure it all out, right? We got our cop trucking down, you know, all coked up and ketamine.
As he's like falling over the coke, trying so hard to get it into his face. Yeah,
just fucking like
rubbing it on his face.
Yeah, he just crawls to the table, just get it all in me.
I need to stand.
She just, at that point when she's escaping, I think she refers to it, she's like, I'm in survival mode.
Yeah.
She's just killing everyone in her path.
Yeah. And I was trying to figure out what her, like, because she mentions later on breaking her rules or something like that. But I feel like her rules were really loose past, like, when she escaped that room, because I was trying to think, does she kill women or not? She doesn't kill women, but she killed the woman at the front desk.
I think her whole thing is her rules are she only kills people like outside of, like, I think she's like a Black Widow-y kind of person. She lures men in and kill them. Like, that's her thing. Okay, so I'm just going to try and figure out this movie like as it's supposed to be. She's a Black Widow that lures men in. He has a hunch that she is this person. So he's like, in a way, undercover.
I didn't even think of that.
Whether he's supposed to be or not, I think it's intentional. So he's trying to capture her as well, I believe.
Okay.
Because there's some stuff to it that just feel like I don't know. Like, that's his motivations. I can't put my finger on. I can't think if he's 100% thinking with his dick or if he's like, I'm gonna get some before I put her in prison. I don't know.
Yeah, I just thought he was like out on a date with a sex worker. I didn't even think that it was intentional.
I don't know. That's partly in my brain.
Because does she tell him that she's her? Or is it just to the sheriff?
I think, God.
Or was that the title of that chapter?
I think there's a part where he figures it out. But I can't remember 100%.
Like, oh.
I'm going to have to watch this film.
I never thought that. I thought he shot her because she lied to him and drugged him.
I think
and carved into him.
Yeah. But I think he shot her in the sense of like, Because if you look at where he shoots in the middle of it, so her head's not going to be there. He's doing it.
But he's
to,
also
like,
paralyzed.
what?
He's paralyzed at that point.
No. He shoots.
Wasn't that
He shoots
after?
at it before. No, he shoots at her while she's in the trash can, the freezer. That's
Yeah.
Or are you talking about when he shoots her in the head?
When he shoots her in the head. Yeah, shoots her in the
Yeah,
head.
he's paralyzed. But I'm talking about when he's hunting her down and she's in the freezer. He shoots in the middle of the thing. When he's paralyzed, I think he's just firing it to
Right, okay.
try to survive.
Right. Okay, we're on the same page.
Yeah. Because that scene is just wild. She's like carving into his chest and she's about to stab him in the fucking neck. And he fucking fires off into her ear. And you're like, okay, this all makes sense. Because there was so much of like, how's he getting out of this one? Or how's she getting out of this one? It's always how.
Yeah. And did you notice in the first hotel scene, I want to kind of delve into this theory too. In the first hotel scene, did you ever notice the picture getting slightly blurry?
Like what we're seeing?
Right.
Not to my knowledge.
There was something that almost, maybe it was just me, I don't know, but like it like pulsed and made it blurry.
Oh, possibly.
I'll need to double check on that one, but
I might have missed that.
how she like, because it did that then, and I think it did it very faintly in the second one, but
I mean,
like,
you get the subliminal like demon, like where she sees the devil in his
later
face.
on.
Well, she sees it in his face in the hotel room.
Yeah, I missed that one. So maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
That it must have been like, because it literally is
it was
like
something obscure.
yes,
Okay.
because they're like kissing or whatever, like and she like
Yeah, and
looks
it's like
at
how
him.
she breaks.
Yep, and then
that
that's
first time.
where he's like, "Is everything okay?" She's like, "How did I get so lucky to be with someone so handsome as you?" That's after she sees the demon, because that's her thing. That's her rule.
Right.
Is she only kills the people that are demons.
Right.
That's
So,
her rule. She only kills demons, and then breaking her rule is survival mode.
Got it. Yeah, because I was wondering about that. Like that kind of takes away like this sinister serial killer and gives it like this yet another like layer of the onion.
Yeah.
Of the demons. And I was wondering, I guess I didn't see that thing, or it just passed me by. But that was like the time that she went from like having a good time to like let's kill this guy, and then maybe onto your theory of this guy's here to arrest me. It could have gone completely differently.
Yeah. So like in a way, like there is a storyline in this movie where he's going to pick her up because he thinks that she is the electric lady.
Right.
But she has no intention of actually killing him.
Right.
They get together. She sees him as the demon.
Exactly.
Proceeds to try to kill him. And then now he's hunting her down.
Right.
Because ultimately at the end, like, you know, she's talking about all that and she sees herself in the side mirror, sees the demon there, and pulls out the gun to get ready to kill herself. And the lady kills her instead.
That's what I thought too.
That's how I felt that the end of the film works out, because it's one of those things where it just kind of is like, there's no escape for you. You didn't get to, take it the way that you wanted to and stuff. Because we believe she's dead. She's shot in the side.
Right. And she didn't want to go out by firing squad.
Yeah.
So she saw the demon. She's going to kill the demon because she doesn't want to be killed by someone else.
Yep.
I thought that was really cool too. How there were like the double meanings, how she went in depth about the serial killer who wanted to die by fire squad.
Yep.
And she was like, I just want to live.
Yeah.
As she before she ripped his jugular out.
I went 3 hots and a cot. Like I love, like, as much as I never want to be in jail or prison, I love that terminology. 3 hots and a cot. Like it's such like a laid back look at like being incarcerated.
And that showed a little bit of the humor that this movie has too. She has a lot of little phrases like that throughout.
Yeah, like there's so much that's like sinister, but like again, taken from a different point of view is just kind of funny and stuff.
Right.
Like it's just, the whole here kitty kitty thing is like really sinister, but at the same time, this motherfucker's coked up out of his mind, just trying to hold off.
He doesn't know what he's saying.
He's gone. And that's the thing too. Like when he calls for backup and everything, he is like,
Mhm.
I need help. Like,
Yeah.
like so much is like, well, why didn't he say I got the electric lady here? Because he is on a fucking cocktail from hell.
That's
Like,
right. I didn't think about
he's a half a step away from being Chris Farley at this moment.
that.
He's on uppers and downers. He is in
Yeah.
a roller coaster of emotions.
He's just happy to be sitting.
Yeah, he's still just trying to get his dick touched, guys.
Oh my God. What a man will do.
This movie could have just been called Blue Balls.
Oh my God. I would imagine after getting her initials carved into him.
Oh, dude, it was so.
The
it was-
initials were EL.
What's
It
that
just
stand?
hit me.
What's that?
The electric lady.
Jesus Christ, I'm so fucking stupid.
So that's when he found
Maybe
out.
that's how. I was like, what's her name? Like Eleanor Lorelei? I don't fucking know. Oh,
Those are two
Electric
first
Lady.
names.
Yeah, the name that she keeps getting called. I don't
Right.
know.
The name that was written on the beginning of that.
And I was stone sober
Chapter.
watching this movie, and that just escaped me. I was like,
Same here.
EL. Wonder what that means. Is it like
I was
what
like,
was it? EL
all right.
fudge? Is that the cookies? EL fudge?
Oh, yeah, because it's Elf.
Oh my god, I never noticed that either.
Oh my God.
On today's episode, we realize how absolutely moronic Nicholas is.
Today's episode, Nick learns things.
I'm not gonna hold it.
Dude, those are the best cookies.
They
I
are,
wish.
you eat their head
man.
first. It's great.
Yeah. Now I take them apart and eat their inside.
Jesus Christ.
I scrape out the chocolate and then I eat the outside.
Wait. We're
Trust
talking
me,
about
it's
cookies,
delicious.
right? This movie was super sexy. We're not talking about something else you do in here. I eat the chocolate, then I split it in half.
Oh my God.
Natasha.
Moving on.
This is a fucking family podcast.
Speaking of which, Mom now has it.
What?
I got Mom hooked up on being a follower of Pot of the Dead.
Oh, there we go. Great. She's going to hear this. Hi, Mom.
She's never going to listen.
No, but if she does, hello.
But the thought was there.
Yeah,
It's kind of her to ask.
And she should watch this movie. I think she would love this movie.
I think so. Yeah.
It's sexy. Mom
I don't
likes
know who
sexy
wouldn't.
movies.
I don't want to talk about Mom liking
I
sexy
went through
movies.
this house and told every woman that I saw that they need to watch this movie.
Every woman you saw.
I picked up Chuck, our female Boston Terrier, or not Boston Terrier, French Bulldog.
Female French Bulldog. Oh,
Yep.
she's so
Just
cute.
picked her up, looked her in her blind eyes, and was just like, "You gotta watch Strange Darling." She then licked me on the nose.
Yeah. I love you, Dad.
She
do
licked
whatever
me on
you
the nose,
want.
farted, and then just fell over. But yeah, this movie. Yeah, this movie.
This is great. This was a solid choice, Nick.
Yeah.
Way to go.
So like, this movie keeps getting talked about as like a thriller, suspense, right? Google says it's horror. That's why it's on the list.
Right. I think it's pretty horrific, especially
Yeah.
when the
If this
blood
is-
is gushing out of the guy's neck.
If this is a thriller, it's the same kind of thriller that Seven is.
Yeah.
And I consider them both horror.
Yeah.
You know, and Google says they're both horror. So guess what? Google overlords rule.
Dude. When she stabs somebody in the top, the guy stabs in the top of the head
hmm
and then ripping out the huge chunk of flesh and then just like letting it linger in her
Yeah.
mouth.
Oh, that scene is like, that is actually gross. She's just like
Yeah.
despondent, just standing there and then spits it out.
I was
like-
just a ball of cringe.
So effective.
So much, yeah. I thought for a split second she was going to swallow it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, and then throws it up on her.
I was just like waiting.
It goes so hard in that one scene.
Oh.
It just ruins the film. She just starts having sex with his dead body. Just like,
That would've
wait,
ruined
wait. No,
Stop.
you were so close.
Stop.
You flew too close to the sun.
Why?
But we didn't get necrophilia. Begins to kick stones.
It was a kick over a wastebasket.
Meh. Even in death, he has blue balls.
Oh my God.
But yeah. So, you got anything else you want to talk about for Strange Darling?
I'm thinking. I don't think so.
Would you suggest this to your coworkers?
I would suggest this to everybody.
Wyatt?
Anyone? Quiet? No, funny
Dude.
story.
You just like go up to him. dude, I got something to show you. Pick up your Legos. We're going to go watch Strange Darling.
No. But why I made a fort in the living room this morning, it's still there. It's basically the couch. And I needed to get this movie watched since we're recording early. And Y was like, can I just lay in my fort? So he's like laying
You had to
on.
hear the movie?
You had to
Oh
hear a
my
little
God.
bit of it. And I
This
wasn't
movie
proud of
is
myself.
crazy. Seriously.
But I was like, because like there's a good chunk of this movie that's relatively quiet.
Yes. I had to keep turning it up, and then it's just like, ah!
Yeah. That was I forgot about that. That I did not like that.
What
the
part?
loud like brrr.
Oh, I love going back. The audio in this movie, though, like the soundtrack and stuff to it, not
Yeah.
just the sung songs, but like the
I liked all of that.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was so analog synthy, just
Mhm.
and I just love that shit. Like I can feel it in my soul.
Was that from Mandy too?
Yeah,
Did
Mandy
Mandy
does
have
a
a
lot of that
soundtrack
shit
like
too. Yeah, I'm just like,
Yeah.
but not like Transformers. Like,
You're right.
Not like that. Very
like-
specific noise.
It's like moody Transformers.
Yeah, it's like a Moog with like a fucking oscillator just wow. Like,
Right.
I'm about that. I'm not about
I know what those words mean.
A Moog is a synthesizer, an oscillator is
you.
what changes its wave. Whatever. It's a thing.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's a very, very, very blue ball sentence that I just said. But yeah. So thumbs up.
that's-
Thumbs up.
I don't
here.
remember what I was saying before that, but
Wyatt in a tent.
forgot about it. Wyatt was in the tent. Quiet movie. Was like, you're cool. I just don't want you to watch what is happening, but you should be fine. And then I think one of the first things Wyatt heard was, "You're a fucking cunt." And I was like, great. Okay. Maybe you should move. Sorry, son.
I did not know how hard this film was going to go at one point when he's like, I'm going to put my foot in your mouth to the heel. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, where are we going? Because it's such a weird thing. Seeing the Bob red wig, I was like,
Mhm.
this movie's probably going to be sexy. Because that is synonymous with like prostitute
Yeah.
in my head anyhow.
Hmm.
I don't know what I do in my life that's just imprinted, but there's something about that kind of look that I'm like, oh, the film is trying to tell me that she is a prostitute.
Because in a lot of films, that's what a sex worker looks like.
Yes.
So
But,
that's why it's imprinted in your head, is because that's just what
Okay.
it's been
So it's like,
marketed
okay,
as.
we're dealing with that. And then just
Right.
like, we're chained to a bed. You're going to eat my fucking foot to the heel. I was like, it is 9:00 in the morning.
That's right. That's early.
I just ate breakfast. What did I just get myself into? And I'm watching it in the living room. Anybody can walk through
Oh,
it. Like, yeah, I was just like, this.
I was checking down the hallway, making sure Wyatt was still in his bedroom.
I've watched far worse in my house with everybody walking around. They go, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "Shut up, leave me alone. This is for homework." You know, like-
I can't talk to you right now.
yeah, I gotta pay attention. I'm taking notes. Get your hand out of your pants. I'm taking notes.
Back to work. Back to work.
Nick, get your hand out of your pants. Gremlins is on. I'm taking notes.
Oh my god! So I lost what I was talking about again. Anyway,
He said you're a fucking cunt, and then Wyatt ran off.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Then I was watching Gremlins, elbow deep in my pants. You know, it's the story is all this time. Okay.
And on next week's episode,
Yeah, no shit. Now that we're completely off the rails,
if
you
you're
can't
still
tell,
around,
yeah, this is a late night episode for us because of scheduling issues on my behalf. So we are partaking of our favorite vices, and here we are. Sorry, we're not
This is what
sorry.
you get.
Let us know if this is what you want.
Oh
if this
God.
is what you want, late night Pot of the Dead is what you get, baby. But yeah, I love this movie. I can't wait to watch it again. I'm probably going to watch it again sometime this week because I'm going to force someone else to watch it.
Oh wow, that's saying a lot.
Because again, it's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
136. I can watch that shit all day, baby. Okay. For homework next week,
Okay.
we are going to be watching one that I've been kind of holding back on. and I was moving some stuff around, and I couldn't figure out exactly what I wanted to do.
Just tell me.
But I knew that you needed to see this movie.
Okay.
So we're watching Hostel. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Woo!
If
That
you want
was
us
an
to watch
emotional roller
that,
coaster.
send us a message at potofthedead666@gmail.com, and maybe we'll watch Hostel. But no, we're going to watch the film from 2019, the horror comedy, hour and a half long,
Okay.
Ready or Not.
Okay. I haven't heard of it.
Okay. So that is what we are going to watch for homework this
Okay.
coming week.
All
So
right.
get ready. I hope you're ready.
It's ready as I'll ever be.
Ready or not, here I come.
Exactly.
For Pot of the Dead, I am Nicholas.
And I am Natasha.
Come back and listen to us. Or else.